welcome to Focus on B, a single-part video series where we take a look at a game that I really do want to talk about, but I feel like wouldn't necessarily make for a great video series, so I'm just doing one video on it, and this is Cave Story. This is a little Metroidvania-type game from way back in 2004 that's been re-released a million times. So how does this game work? Well, we got a little dude here. His name is, was it Quote, I think? Yeah, Quote. You can refill your health right here. You can save with these little floppy disks. I wonder how long it'll take until floppy disks, like, stop being the de facto save icon. Maybe that'll never happen. I don't know. I hope that never happens, because it's classic. So, you might be familiar with some of my opinions on Metroidvania-type games, if you've watched a lot of my other videos. I generally am not a huge fan of them. Mainly because I don't enjoy the kind of game where I don't know what I'm doing and have to feel the need to look it up. Now that right there is a heart tank. Damn, I wonder what game this game takes inspiration from. With a lead protagonist with nice blonde hair. Either way, actually this game also has a character with blonde hair. But that's not us, though. That's another one we're going to meet later on, but spoilers. I'm only going to be showing the very, very, very early moments of the game because I've been playing the game, you know, for myself, and I've gotten a couple hours into it. Don't want to spoil too much, right? It's the kind of game where it really, really benefits from going in blind, at least for the sake of the story. I still recommend you look up, like, the least spoiler-heavy walkthrough you can find, as in, like, a walkthrough that tells you what to do, but not necessarily why you're doing it, as in, they don't give away too much of the story aspects, because this plot is, weird. I believe this might be one of the earlier games of the, what would you call it? Like, really cutesy looking, but kind of fucked up variety. And not even in the sense like I think Klonoa is very cute, but also has some dark moments and stuff. No. I mean, like, this game gets morbid, completely fucked. Open the treasure chest, you get item. This is your first gun. And keep in mind, you might not want to hold on to this gun forever. Ooh, someone's transmission. Skip. We are not interested in this. I do not want to showcase too much of the story. Alright? I mean, you can always pause the video and check that out. You hold down to interact, which is quite interesting compared to usual. This guy's sleeping, I guess. So you hold it down to do things. Now we have a gun. Now, you might have noticed that LV right there. This isn't some Undertale shit, level of violence. No. This is literally a traditional leveling system. So you shoot enemies, and they drop these little triangles, I guess. Doritos, whatever you want to call them. And you get level ups. And that's the main thing you want to keep your eyes on. Health, it matters, sure. You die when you don't have health, absolutely. But what you really want to keep your eye on is the level. Because every time you take damage, you lose a bit of level. So you not only become, you know, health-wise worse for wear, but you also become less able to defend yourself. That's the main thing, you know, because you can always get more health, and you get it back very quickly. Whereas levels, it takes a little longer. Yeah, this is a fake door. You shoot this guy. It takes a little longer for you to level up, because look at how many fucking pellets, or triangles, whatever, I have to collect before. Nope. Moving right along. And we're skipping all of this just to make sure I don't spoil too much. Right. There you go. So what happened? Well, I'm not going to tell you what happened. You're going to have to figure it out for yourself. Either way, we're in this area. This is called the Mega Village. And we have a little save area. I'm not actually going to use it because I don't have to. I don't plan on keeping the save file around. I'm probably going to delete it after this video. But I only made it just to showcase the early moments of the game. And this is actually another reason why also the music is fantastic. Phenomenal soundtrack, seriously. Like, this is the Wii version, the sort of new version of the soundtrack, but there's also an original one, which I imagine sounds basically the same, but just maybe with not as many channels or something, because this already sounds very Family-trackery, you know what I mean? And then there was like several remade soundtracks for the game, including one by the guys who did the music for Binding of Isaac and stuff. Danny something Owski, I forgot his name fully. So we're just going to explore this area and see what we can do. I'll probably cut this off at about 25 minutes or so. I don't want to showcase too much of the game because, again, you will benefit greatly. But why do I like this game so much if I don't like Metroidvanias typically? I think it's because of the world and the characters. This game is charming as fuck. The characters are so interesting and sometimes even very likable. Some of them are cute, some of them are evil, but they all have very appealing designs. Go and collect this thing. Something shines brightly. I think we're gonna need that for later. At least I always collect it, so I'm sure we need it. You know, your main protagonist he's a mute, so it doesn't really matter too much, but the game does a very good job of making you feel like you really care about a lot of these characters, a lot of these places. It's not like with Metroid, it's got this cool dark sci-fi thing going on, but I don't know. Okay, we're not gonna interact with you too much. Ooh, we gotta chase this. No, you're not gonna find out anything. I'm gonna make sure you don't learn about this. You learn as little about this game's narrative, I guess, as possible. Although this is where you would go about finding her. But as I was saying, yeah, with Metroid, oh fuck, you gotta shoot her. That makes you feel so bad. You are generally just dumped into a very desolate world, and some of them do have like a slightly heavier emphasis on more characters and such. But it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, this is our first boss. But it doesn't necessarily make it all that interesting, to me at least. This world, I actually really enjoy. I enjoy the presence of all the characters. Yeah, let's fight them. Why not? Just to show something off. Because the fighting in this game is also, it's very standard Metroidvania type floaty jumping. It's not so much like Hollow Knight. You know Hollow Knight, how it has the more Mega Man-like jumping. Here there's more of a bit of momentum, a bit of give to your character's movement. The game starts out very, very easy. This is on the original difficulty. The game, for some reason, defaults to the easy difficulty. I haven't tried the game on easy. I imagine it'll just be the same thing, but easier. I don't see it changing anything other than just, like, damage values and stuff. I'll remember this. Okay, Kool-Aid Man. Defeated Balrog. Cool. Oh, and we got a bunch of stuff. We got a bunch of levels. Yay, and I've leveled up. And there's nothing worse in this game than getting hit and seeing that big red level down text. Like, holy shit, that is so discouraging. You just want to stop playing the game right there. But either way, generally what you want to do is talk to the NPCs. Now, I don't want to talk to them too much, because again, I don't want to reveal too much of what's going on. But I believe we do have to talk to this guy, for example, to unlock a different area, right? Yep. Wait, let's skip through that dialogue. There you go. And we are in the cemetery. This area, I think, is only useful for that shiny thing right there. So we're going to have to go get it. There's a very good variety of weapons in this game. I've only unlocked about 5 or 6 so far. You've got a rocket launcher later on you'll get some other, you know, different weapons that are usually auto-recharge type. As in, you basically have infinite ammo. I don't really feel bad for killing these guys. They damage you, so fuck them. You basically have infinite ammo with most of your guns. With this one, you literally have infinite shots. Look, there's not even... Look at my HUD. There's nothing there. But with a lot of them, you'll have, like, you know, something out of 100, and it'll drain, but it'll eventually refill. The only ammo in this game that is generally finite, let's skip along through, we got a key, cool, is the missile, like the rocket launcher. That's the only weapon where you actually do have to scavenge for your own ammo that doesn't just refill. What is this? The assembly hall. Okay, we're not talking to you guys unless I have to get, you know, a move on. What a cage. I wonder if someone will get trapped in here later on. Now, we got the key to Arthur's house, so I'm assuming we have to go over there. So yeah, so that's a few things, right, that I like about this more in your typical Metroidvania. I love the world, I love the presentation, the music is amazing, the art is very nice. This is the remastered art. The game still looks very nice with its chunky, more, you know, pixel art sort of look that it initially had in the original free PC game. And clearly I'm not the only one, because this game has endured, like, time like nothing else. Not only has it held up super well, but clearly people are still interested, because there are so many fucking re-releases of this game, and remakes, and all these different things, and they're getting as much out of this game as they can, you know? Oh, I can't teleport to the next area that I believe I have to go to. I guess that means I have to talk to someone to allow that to happen. Well, we're gonna go and look around. Let's see what this guy has to say. Gulp. Okay, yeah, I already know most of this, and I want you guys to know as little about this as possible, as to not ruin the experience, but don't worry, it's... the game changes a lot later on, so it's not like this will set the status quo for what you should expect. Let's go and talk to these guys. Not Turco too, those older butter was off. I'm skipping through. The doctor. Okay, we know he's evil. Who's this guy? There are 2 keys to Arthur's house. Oh, interesting. Well, I've already got. Okay, I'm in there though. What do you want me to do? Oh wait, don't tell me I have to go interact with the computer, and then when I've interacted with the computer, I can do something. Let's see. Text is displayed on screen. Allow teleport. Yes, that's what I need to do. So this is one of the main gimmicks of the game. You have these teleporters. So basically, these take you to... It's essentially a level select of sort. Now, this is another thing that I don't typically like about Metroidvania. See, I am a very... How would you call it? I'm very traditional when it comes to how my levels of my games are structured. I like to have levels. Replayable, mini, like, experiences. And in a lot of these kind of games... That's not the case. You don't get like these sections of level with like set pieces and such and replayable moments. Like, yes, you can backtrack through areas and the enemies will respawn. So for all intents and purposes, you kind of have the ability to play this game like you would like a Mega Man game or something. But for the most part, that's not how these games are structured. These games are designed with a very back and forth sort of thing going on, where you want to be exploring areas and going back and then seeing what else is new, and the world changes around you. It's not the kind of game where you can just kind of go in and play the level and then go back and it resets. Like, there's very much a linear timeline to things that happen. Things aren't just stuck in a vacuum of time like in a lot of other games, like in a like a more conventional platformer where you just sort of like pick your level and everything resets and it's the same thing, and it's like, yes, we got a new life capsule. You're going to want to get as many of those as possible because this game does get quite tricky. I'm not even talking about the end game. I just mean in general. Those things are instant kill. These guys right here. I tried to... sorry. I tried to look down, but obviously that's the only way to do it. You're also going to want to get used to doing this, because it doesn't do anything with this gun, but there's a gun you will unlock later on which does do something with that, and you're going to have to utilize that to your platforming advantage. Because this game does have an emphasis on the platforming, much more than a lot of other Metroidvanias. Well, maybe not as much as Hollow Knight. Maybe I should give Hollow Knight a more thorough try, because I tried the game years ago and I just couldn't get into the world, honestly. Oh, there you are, you monster. This is going to be the first... this character doesn't die right now. I don't know if she dies later, so I don't, don't quote me on that. But they're not going to die now, so I'm not showing anything too spoiler-worthy. Either way, we're probably going to have to take this guy out, right? Let's just skip on through. And let's see what else. Oh, this. We can't go there just yet. We might be able to access that area using... what if these are connected? Let's find out. They are connected. Good thing I checked. What do you have to say? Hey, this is highly unusual. You're a soldier from the surface, are you not? Where is your blonde pal? Oh, I know who he's talking about, so we must both be androids sent from somewhere to save the world or something. I'm not sure. I'm just really trying hard not to give away too much of the plot, and I don't want to go into too many specifics. I'm sure you probably know who the character I'm talking about is, because she's a very popular character just in gaming in general, Not like iconic or anything, but still, most people know who that blonde character I'm talking about is. Probably more than this guy right here. I mean, he's not a very interesting character, although you can actually play as said blonde character, and when you play as her, you actually do get dialogue with this guy. Like, he talks like normal, which is really strange, to be honest, having like the de facto mute character actually speak. But either way, we're just gonna go through. The combat is very satisfying. It's very simple. This game is literally just... I mean, it's a game that was initially for PC, but then it was re-released and became very popular on WiiWare. And even though it has GameCube controller support, you typically would just be playing it with, like, the 2 buttons on the... Well, actually, there's more than 2 buttons, but, when you hold the Wiimote sideways, it just becomes an NES controller, really. Just up, down, left, right, 1 and 2. Might as well be A and B. You do have those extra, actual A and B buttons. I'm not really sure what they do exactly, but here you can switch your weapons. Of course, right now I only have 1 weapon. I don't remember exactly when you get the rocket launcher in the game. It's funny because I haven't been playing this game for that long, and yet I've already forgotten so many different things about it, which is I guess, a good thing because it means that the game will stay fresher in my mind. There's a very fine line you have to walk when it comes to how memorable something is when, like, you're making a game. You don't want it to be the kind of thing that's, like, super in your face and super distinct and stands out too much, because then it becomes just ingrained into your mind and it loses its appeal very quickly. I find that some of my favorite games are the kinds that are just a smidge forgettable, just a little bit, so that I remember most of the game very fondly, but there's always a part that I forget, which is always then a joy to rediscover, you know? There's genuine value to that. I don't remember how you're supposed to go past this section. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of the old save and load, because I don't want to get destroyed. Let's see. Oh, nope. It's a good thing I knew about that. I mean, I didn't know. I had to experiment there. Oh, fuck. Ah. I think I know what I have to do here. You gotta jump into these eggs, and you get this. ID card required to remove shield. Aha. At this point, I'm basically just fumbling, to be honest, because it's been quite a bit since I last did this section of the game, so I don't truly remember exactly what you're supposed to do at this point. I do like how the enemies... oh, no. I both like and dislike the fact that the enemies respawn. On one hand, it's cool because it keeps the areas alive. But on the other hand, it is a little annoying when you've been taking care of them. Fortunately, none of them are really huge threats, so if I can ride on them, you know? Like, even if I'm getting my ass kicked right now, they're really not that hard individually. It's just that I suck, to be honest. But you can also grind them for whatever you would grind, you know, like, for example, health and such. Ooh, we can go into this one, too. Right? Oh, you can't go into this one. That's odd. Some of the eggs aren't interactable. I thought they were all interactable in some way. Well, let's go into this room and see what we can do. Oh, you know what? It's going to be great to go into here because it's probably going to have a health tank, right? Oh, it doesn't. That's unfortunate. Oh, it does have some health down here, though. That's nice. This is where you typically find hints for how to progress. Open the treasure chest we got. Ah, there's the missile launcher. It's a missile launcher, not a rocket launcher. Yeah, so what else do I really like about this game? So I've talked about the presentation, the characters, the narrative. I'm not a super narrative-heavy guy when it comes to my games. I'm very much of the old John Carmack thing, where it's like, oh, it's like story and prawn. You expect it to be there. Yeah, but no, a game can have a very good story, and it should not be overlooked. So those are the only ones you can enter, apparently, just number 6 and 1, probably because they are abnormal, as it seems. But either way, the combat in this game is very simple, very fun. What else would I have to point out, really? I enjoy the structure and the fact that the game has a bit of a combination of a, you know, open-ended Metroidvania thing going on, but it also has... It has one foot very firmly in open-ended, but also another foot in conventional platformer in a way. This doesn't feel too separated from like a Mega Man game or something, except with different controls, of course, and no enemy weapon. Ah, I haven't explored this. Let's go in here and see what happens. Whoop. What do we get? Open the treasure chest. I got an ID card. Aha. I believe that means we now have to go back to Egg 1. How long have I been recording? 18 minutes. You know, this is almost a good time to leave. No, I'm not going to leave it off just yet. Let's go and see what's inside that, because I've honestly forgotten. It's going to be new to me when I actually explore the inside of that egg and interact with it in some way. What else can there really be said about Cave Story that hasn't been? I mean, this is a very popular game. It's not like super well known, although it is relatively well known. I found out about this game through Some Call Me Johnny's very old 12 years ago now, Jesus Christ, his marathon of indie games, right? Back when the Wii was like, actually, before the Wii U even came out, my god. I still can't believe that, like, we're already past the Wii U and now we're past the Switch, in fact. The Switch is almost over. Which is just kind of crazy in my head because, I don't know, time works weird. But either way, you're probably gonna, the thing about I like about this game is that you don't have to necessarily like these kind of games to enjoy Cave Story. It has a very universal sort of broad appeal, which is probably why it's been re-released so many damn times, and why, for example, Metroid, which is much more on the heavier side, that game, on the other hand, it took us quite a few years to receive another normal Metroid game. You know, we'll see if we can do anything in here. Insert the ID card. Shield removed. Ooh, and now we can progress. So that's how we progress through that area. So, those are pretty much my thoughts on Cave Story. I really enjoyed this game. Will I be speedrunning it or anything? Like, because I know that these games have a very speedrun appeal of, like, getting things as early as you can and such. Not necessarily, but I like that this game doesn't have a super heavy emphasis on, like, knowing where things are beforehand. It generally does a good job of guiding you and letting you know. I mean, yes, I did have to look up a couple things later on in the game, absolutely. But it's not too cryptic or annoying about it, and it's held up insanely well over the last 20 years. Because remember, this version might be from 2010, and there are newer versions, but this game as a whole is now 20 years old, and I mean, yeah, it's held up ridiculously well, especially considering it was made by like one person. And with that said, thanks for watching another episode of Focus on B, the single-part video series where I take a look at a game that might not necessarily make for a great Let's Play, but still has a lot of qualities that I want to talk about. This has been Cave Story, and I'll see you guys next time.